Liberty Common School students are looking forward to Thanksgiving. We all are. It's always a pensive time in the life of the school, certainly because the things we teach here about Thanksgiving and its humble American origins. But it's more the case because this is a school that holds an intensive reverence for the family as the most central and essential unit of American society. This school was founded by strong families. It has attracted strong families ever since, parents and grandparents who share in the leadership of our little learning community. From its humble foundation nearly 30 years ago, Liberty Common School appeals to the active and engaged parents who hold hopes for their children, parents who choose this rather purposeful place to assist them in exercising a sacred parental prerogative, a natural right, and a responsibility to direct the education and upbringing of their children. You can already see around the school preparations for Liberty's Grandparents' Day, which in our tradition coincides with Thanksgiving. Pairing Grandparents' Day with the Thanksgiving break makes things easier for family members who are traveling for the holiday, but it's also an important statement about stories and culture. Ultimately, great education is about passing down knowledge, virtue, and character from one generation to the next. When we see this coming together in a school, well, we're reminded of how much we have to be thankful for and what a blessing we have in these young learners. In kindergarten, the children are taught about continents and the oceans, the rudiments of geography, about kings and queens, and the concept of countries. But it's in third grade when they learn about ancient history on the North American continent, the earliest people, hunters, nomads, and First Nations. We get into the age of exploration, the English settlers, the story of the lost colony, Sir Walter Raleigh and the Virginia settlement at Jamestown, Captain John Smith and Pocahontas and Powhatan, the Pilgrim landing at Plymouth, the Mayflower and the Mayflower Compact, and Squanto, and the first Thanksgiving of 1621 and the second one in 1623, both convened by Governor Bradford to mark ends to extraordinarily difficult and dark periods of famine, disease, harsh elements, and drought. Through it all, the Pilgrims were convinced their prayers were answered by God and that, as a faithful community, thanks should be reverently returned as a common practice. As Liberty students grow and gain more background information about this history, they come back to these stories, expound upon them, and track how American themes of self-determination, rugged individualism, faith, and honest hard work become the character of a young nation. They'll dive deeper through the 5th grade and the 6th grade. You know, these lessons become the foundation of so many other lessons that carry them through high school and into college. We start in the early grades with core knowledge, lots of facts, but then the students begin to see patterns forming in the country's historical development and in other cultures. The hardship of the American Revolution eventually led George Washington in 1789 to draw parallels to the Pilgrims and to issue the first Thanksgiving Proclamation, giving thanks to God for a successful war for independence, a new constitution, an inspired nation established in liberty. President Adams and Madison followed suit. Then the states, starting with New York in 1817, began making Thanksgiving annual holidays in their states. Eventually, Sarah Hale in the 1820s launched her campaign for a national Thanksgiving holiday until President Lincoln embraced the idea at the height of the Civil War. Lincoln urged Americans to turn to God, to commend to His tender care all those who have become widows, orphans, mourners, or sufferers in the lamentable civil strife, to heal the wounds of the nation. All this in the righteous American cause of the emancipation of slaves and the maintenance of the Union. Well, these stories and causes are modeled in the curriculum so students learn more about the qualities of governments, societies, economics, and philosophy until, as high school students, they are fully equipped to consider the crucial elements of civil society and their role as citizens in it. Liberty students become actual civil leaders themselves in adhering tightly to unique American traditions, like the Thanksgiving tradition that anchors them to a wonderful American heritage, one with deep meaning, a fantastic history, a distinct culture, about which we acquire a mature cultural literacy and arrive finally at what Noah Webster described as an American ethnicity. It's a fulfillment of a creative energy empowered by knowledge and magnified through the learning sequence we know as Liberty's thinking framework. The totality of it all, the expression of actual cultural literacy, can be heard in the songs our students sing at this time of year, their artistic projects and performances, the books they read, the poems they can recite, but especially in our own school traditions that add deep meaning and make children fully aware of their broader purpose to carry forward these terms of Thanksgiving themselves. You know, the Pilgrims made Thanksgiving. Nothing was handed to them. It was real work and planning and effort. Many of them didn't make it. They had to plant and hunt and build and form relationships and maintain their faith. Our students know this story. In fact, in similar ways, they live it out as young scholars at a school that expects a lot of them, but for good and decent reasons. It's about love. And that's what's being celebrated throughout the school now, surrounded by parents and grandparents to make education truly about a shared heritage, about family, about appreciating being in a country whose motto stands, "In God we trust," and being united in thanksgiving for all we have, for how far we've come together. Well, as a school founder and now a Liberty grandparent myself, I'm thankful to work in a profession that allows me to be around all these precious young souls, to interact with their families, and to be a colleague with their teachers. On behalf of them, our parent-led board of directors, and the whole school community, enjoy a glorious and blessed Thanksgiving, everyone.